you gotta give it up for AEW. AEW has really weathered the storm. These people are showing their resilience right in front of our eyes. And I think it's time that the wrestling world really takes AEW seriously. Now, I'm not saying that All In Texas was the greatest show of all times or anything like that, but AEW did manage to produce a certain feeling that only great wrestling shows can produce. That's the unique thing about AEW right now. They're still trying to figure out a certain formula to make this thing go to where it needs to go. But in terms of venues, in terms of production, this felt like one of their biggest wrestling shows. Regardless of how I feel about the matches, I dare say that the production of this show felt like a WrestleMania. And I hate to compare between the two, but at the end of the day, WrestleMania is the standard when it comes to your biggest show in the world of professional wrestling. So this is not a bad thing to compare the feeling of All In to a WrestleMania. This is a huge win for AEW. The WWE is really giving AEW a chance to get competitive, whether they know it or not, because for a while, AEW was losing a lot of momentum for a lot of different reasons. But nonetheless, it seems like they were taking a step backwards and that WWE was really showing dominance over that company. And salute to Tony Khan. I gotta take a moment right here to really acknowledge what Tony Khan has done for the world of professional wrestling. Tony Khan has really been resilient, and you have to give this man a lot of credit. It's not easy to just jump into the world of professional wrestling, especially a world that Vince McMahon and the WWE has bogarted for 20 years. This is not easy to do the things that Tony Khan has done. It's been reported that AEW Dynamite has lasted longer than WCW Monday Nitro. That's a huge accomplishment. That's something that you can't take lightly. WCW Nitro was nothing to sneeze at. They went up against WWE, and they were really competitive with that company. The WWE was in jeopardy at one point in time, and shows like a WCW Nitro did that. So to hear that AEW Dynamite now has been running longer than Nitro did, Tony Khan deserves credit and respect on his name right now. Give this man his proper recognition. AEW has weathered the storm. At this point, they've taken the WWE's best shots. Everything that company can do to try to get in the way and hinder the progress of AEW, it hasn't worked. They haven't got the job done. Like Will Ospreay said about a month ago, people are starting to believe in AEW again. People better wake up in the wrestling world. Tony Khan has helped save other wrestling promotions. TNA is one of those promotions. Even though TNA is working alongside WWE right now, some could argue that they only were able to get to that point because Tony Khan was the one that did a partnership with TNA first. A partnership that clearly was successful. Successful enough to make the WWE take a second look. And the things that AEW did when they were working with TNA, it wasn't half bad. They actually had a couple of good storylines with that whole partnership. I asked y'all on Worldwide Classic maybe a month ago, is the WWE partnership with TNA hurting TNA? Some say yes. All I can say is, I just don't know right now. Because I think so at times, but then other times, I think it's a waste of time. We're just going to continue to give credit to AEW. Tony Khan has really done some groundbreaking things if you really think about it. He's helped TNA, he's bought out Ring of Honor, and then kept Ring of Honor going when he could have just shut that company down completely and merged it with AEW. This man is doing his part to make professional wrestling great again. You don't have to agree with the storylines. You don't have to agree with the in-ring action. But we all have to agree that at least Tony Khan is trying. That's more than what we could say for a lot of people. Everybody else is just sitting around and have things to say. And a lot of people have been very critical of what Tony Khan is trying to achieve. All I'm going to say is the WWE was the only wrestling promotion for a very long time. Tony Khan has been directly competing with that version of the WWE, with that version of Vince McMahon that has conquered the timeline of professional wrestling. Vince McMahon the Conqueror. Tony Khan has taken their best shots and he's thrown the biggest event in that company's history. And let's please not lose sight of the fact that the morality over at the WWE continues to decline. The way that the WWE continues to do business is one of the reasons why AEW is in the position that it's in. The WWE only really has one true star, and that's Roman Reigns. And Roman Reigns only wrestles about 7 times a year. If AEW can just make one genuine star, one superstar in that company, the WWE is going to be in real trouble. Because mark my words, if AEW can accomplish that goal, you're going to see an entire shift happen in the world of professional wrestling. They have a lot of guys in that company that could be a big superstar, but it's just not that easy to create one. Some real work and some real care goes into the development of a superstar. You're talking about a person that has to connect with millions of fans. And it's a lot that goes into that. But if AEW can somehow put together the right ingredients to produce one superstar, I promise you right now, AEW can be the premier place for professional wrestling. As crazy as it sounds. But the WWE continues to back themselves against the wall. The WWE is almost throwing an alley-oop to AEW. They're almost giving them the assist to take over. Now, don't get me wrong. It's still a few things that AEW needs to improve on, and a lot of things that need to be fixed. But at the rate we've been going, so does the WWE. So even though a lot does go into it, if AEW can figure out this Rubik's Cube of how to make a superstar, I'm telling you right now, the entire momentum can and will shift over to AEW. You heard it here first on Worldwide Classic.